This is a unboxing of a new Blu-ray player, and this is obviously by as you can see, it's a fitting frame. This is by LG. Now, for long-term subscribers to my channel, you may have noticed that I did a Blu-ray unboxing of a Blu-ray player by Panasonic about maybe a year or two ago, which I've actually got in my hand. Which is this one here. As you see, it's the DMP BD84EBK. It's in black. Which actually was a very good Blu-ray player. Now, the reason why we have got I've got a second Blu-ray player now, is because the Panasonic one that I did stopped working. Now, we have used that particular Panasonic Blu-ray player quite a few times, and it's worked perfectly fine. The only negatives were about this thing was that you could use YouTube and Netflix through this thing, but the only problem is that you had to be connected to the internet. Now, with this particular model, you had to have a wide internet rather than a Bluetooth connection, which unfortunately we don't have. So that aspect of the YouTube or Netflix, we weren't able to take full advantage of on the Panasonic Blu-ray player. But anyway, I was trying to get a film working for my mother and my aunt, and for some strange reason, there wasn't any power coming through the actual system itself. So I tried using a different plugging it into a different socket. Same problem there. There was no power. I even tried taking it to another room and try and use another socket. It's the same problem. So I bought this Panasonic one from Amazon. So I managed to get contact with someone from Amazon. I had to print off a prepaid label and then send it back. Now, what I made sure I did at the time at my local post office was got a proof of receipt, because you don't, just in case, even though it's free posting back to Amazon, these things can get lost in the post, and the next minute they won't give you your money back, and then you're down whatever how much you paid for that particular item. And also, I took a picture of the parcel in the post office, right? So obviously there's proof in case anything happened. Now, the only real disappointing thing is that a week later, because at the time I was dealing obviously with my cousin's funeral, so there was a lot going on that week. Anyway, I got an email just saying to me, "Oh, that they're returning the item." They didn't even sit there and say as to what was wrong with it, what the engineer said was wrong with it, how much it would cost to fix it, etc., 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 etc. So I didn't even hear anything, which is what I'm a little bit disappointed with Amazon, because they didn't say to me what was wrong with what was actually wrong with it, whether it was a fuse that's gone in it, whether it's a power supply. And to this day, I don't know, because obviously they sent it back, and they never even had the decency to say what was wrong. So you got to all the effort in sending it back, especially going for a hard time, as I said. Not enough. So I rang Amazon, told them what I felt, and told them I was a bit unhappy with the customer service, because I thought it was very disappointed that they just returned it without even a word as to what was wrong with it. I mean, coming from their engineering place. So in the end, right, they pretty much gave me back pretty much all the money back that we had paid for the Panasonic one, and then all the Blu-ray players that they had available, they were quite expensive. And I think one day I was signed in on Facebook, and then sometimes Amazon advertised on Facebook, and they were advertising Blu-ray and DVD players. And you know that sometimes they advertise something as a Blu-ray player, but it's actually a DVD player. So then that's when I saw this one. I clicked on the link, and it took me directly to my Amazon app, and then I found this one here. So basically, they gave me back £57 credit, because the card that I used, which wasn't mine, was expired. So they gave it to me in Amazon credit. So I had £57 credit, and then this popped up on Amazon for 55. So obviously, I've got £2 credit left, and I think I don't remember what they ordered. They ordered it on Tuesday, I think, and then they said it was going to arrive on Friday. And then as of today is Thursday the 7th of March. This just arrived through the post, so now we've got this new one, which is an LG. So what's really great is, of course, you lose compared to the Panasonic one, you lose out with the Netflix app and the YouTube app, but then we couldn't use it anyway, so we've got this new one. So touch wood. I mean, obviously I know this was a long story, but I thought I would explain why I've got two. Now we've got this new one, and it's an LG, so hopefully we won't have any problems like we did with the Panasonic one. Because again, the Panasonic one was actually really good. It's just a shame that the actual power, for whatever reasons, there's no power coming through the actual system. So either I might try and fix it myself, or I might give it to like one of my cousins who they do electronics, so maybe they might be able to fix it and then they can just keep it. But yeah, as you can see, this is LG. Now, this is my mum's Blu-ray player, because I mostly just use my own PS5 and Xbox consoles for Blu-ray and DVD playback anyway. And as you can see here, it says USB movie playback, and it's got 4 HD upscaling. I think that's for DVDs. My mum's TV is an LG, so it's a perfect match. And obviously, most of the modern day Blu-ray players have got a HDMI port. So as again, touch wood, hopefully that this one works and doesn't have any works for a very long time, right? Especially as with the Panasonic one didn't last. So we shall attempt to open this up, and I've got my little trusty little blade here that we can slice. We can open this, and I'm really glad that when the Panasonic Blu-ray player broke, I am really glad that I kept the box, because most people, they buy their products and then they just throw out the boxes. I mean, it just made it much easier to like wrap up, to put back up into the packaging when I needed to send it back to Amazon. So in a one sense, I'm disappointed with Amazon, as I said, that they didn't explain as to what was wrong with the original one, and then they could have said, oh, it's going to cost too much a repair, or maybe the model doesn't exist, or you know, you better just buy a new one. They didn't even say anything, and to this day they've not said what was wrong with it. But then at the same time, I'm glad I managed to argue my case and, you know, try, and then I managed to get the credit back to get a new one, because it could have gone horribly wrong, and then they could have turned and said, well, no, we're not kind of going to do that. Oops. So as you can see here, don't know what this is. You've got the, we'll take a look at this later on. You've got the instruction manual for the Blu-ray and DVD player. And I'm glad I looked at it, because a lot of when I was looking around initially for a new Blu-ray player, a lot of the ones they had were, I typed in Blu-ray player in the Amazon search bar. I mean, it was giving me DVD players, which is what I didn't need. So sometimes when you really want something, patience can be a virtue, as I say. Okay, we've got this little section here. I assume is the, okay, this is the, looks like this is the mains adapter. What we've got here. I think it should come from remote control. I think, yeah, the remote control's in here. And hopefully it's batteries, but I've got my own set of batteries anyway. And then we've got the main player itself all wrapped up in here, protecting the sides, and then protected from scratches and any dents here. So so that's well packaged. So I'll take that outside. Okay, we'll move this box out of the way. And oh, actually definitely not the camera. Okay, the first one we'll look at, yeah, it's quite windy. Oh, I'm not sure if it's pick up on the camera, but it's very, very windy over here in the UK at the moment. Okay. You've got this stuff here, which has got important information inside. I suppose that's to register the actual product, I would assume. Okay, we've got another little pamphlet here where it says external power supply information. Because I don't know if different parts of Europe have different power supplies. Over here in the UK, it's 240 volts. So over here, our plugs have got 4 prongs. So you've got the live, neutral, and you've got earth. That's what's it to protect if there's like a power surge. And then you've got this simple here. You've got this simple Blu-ray disc DVD player manual, which is obviously I assume that's going to be in different languages, and obviously you've got your guarantee as well. Obviously you've got the thing stuff to do with lasers, because the risk of electrical shock do not open. So we got that, and we've got another one. There's so much paper, and you've got here where it says register now to activate your free guarantee. So I should definitely be doing that. So it gives me an extra peace of mind. So we put all this paperwork aside. Get rid of this plastic. Okay, next we have the power supply and I think the remote control. So here we have the little remote control here. I think it takes different, it's not the same type of batteries that my that the Panasonic ones. I think these are the smaller ones, the smaller the warmer ones. Wow, this is the first. It only takes one. Usually, I'm used to remote controls. You having two battery places there where you put the battery, but it's the first time I've ever seen one only use one. So that's kind of great. So it's a bit small. So as you see here, you've got your little, maybe you can just about make it out. You've got your power button there. You've got your open and close. You've got your play, pause, rewind, search, enter. You can back this menu. And I guess that seeing as my mum's TV is an LG, she could probably control it all from this little remote control. Obviously because they're the same make. All that can be controlled from one remote control rather than having to use two controls. So again, I don't know if this is going to come with a battery, because this is before my the Panasonic one did, but this one didn't. So even if it don't, I've got a spare battery anyway. But normally they normally give you one. Yeah. As you can see here, it comes with one battery here, all sealed, so it's not being used. So that's kind of great. And then you've got the power supply here. That's the thing, as I said before, with the Panasonic one as well. I don't know if it's the power supply like this is broken, or if it's just a fuse inside of it. Because obviously, with these molded plugs here, you can't obviously change out any fuses in it and the actual power supply, which is a shame. And as I said before, with the UK, we have the 3 prongs for our sockets. One of it in the States, and then in Jamaica they have only 2. And obviously and then you've got the little power supply thing there, so that's kind of great. So I'll put that aside here. And then as you can see, we've got the main player itself. We'll take away the styrofoam. So we've got that. I don't know if this is the back or the front. This looks like the back, I think. So we took out the styrofoam. And then yeah, right, this looks really awesome. Now the little sticker saying activate your free guarantee, so that's kind of great. And I do like the design of it. It's like it's got like it also is like a black design. It's kind of got like this mesh kind of a finish on the front. And then let's try to see. It's hard to see if it could be in poor black. You can see the LG thing here, symbol here. You've got your Blu-ray tray here. You've got your power button here. You've got the eject button, and then you've got the USB socket here. We'll take a look at the back. It's pretty simple, really. You've got your DC, and obviously that's where the power supply goes. And you've got the HDMI out to the TV socket thing here, which you've got here, which they don't supply you with a HDMI. With the Blu-ray players these days, they don't supply you with the actual HDMI cables, but they're pretty cheap to get. I mean, you can go to your local Argos or electronic store to go and pick them up. Even places like the Pound the Poundland shops, right? Even they sell HDMI ports, but obviously depends on the quality you get, because you can get gold plated HDMIs, and that they're supposed to be or platinum ones. I think you also can get, but obviously you're gonna have to pay more for one of them But they do say that's meant to give you a little bit of a sharper better picture quality, which I don't know whether it's true or not, but you know, whatever works for you and whatever works in your price range. Right, obviously I won't be able to do a TV demonstration, because I haven't got it set up for it at the moment, but what I can do is try and turn it on. Also, I just want to try it on and see if it's at least working, because I don't want to go through all that trouble again. As I said, for the Panasonic one, we've used it a couple of times and it worked fine, and then all of a sudden, bam, it just stopped working. So obviously you've got the back here, and then obviously that simply just goes in here. See, I can already hear it. Maybe it's a little, I don't know if it's just got a little light on there. I don't know. Because some of these blue pairs there. See if I can figure out how to turn this on. Yeah, you can see a little light on there. I don't know if you can hear that. Just a little humming. It's the Blu-ray drive. You can see there. So it looks like it's on at the moment. And then all we have to do is press this button here. There we are. Got the eject button you've got the tray, and then you simply just plug it back in. So that's pretty cool. So, and then we'll put the battery in just to make sure that everything does work. Right, if I can actually take this thing off. Okay. It's just really hard to try to get the battery out of its plastic casing. Okay, we've got that out. Obviously, right, they give you a really cheap battery, so that's probably not going to last very long unless you use like the proper alkaline ones, like the Duracell ones, and they're probably going to last a lot longer. So we've got the remote control here, so the point at that should be able to turn the power off. And then by pressing, yeah, that's about to turn off now. As you can see, it's not glowing anymore. And we turn it back on again, and you can see the little dot, and you can probably hear the drive. And then we press that with remote control, so we know at least that works. And then put it back in again. So that's kind of great. And then also we can turn it off. Now, I've had some people leave sarcastic comments saying to me, oh, they would have to set it up. It's not even that difficult, really. I mean, all you do is you get your you get your HDMI, plug it in at the back of here. And some TVs have got 3 or 4 HDMI sockets at the back of the TV. Just plug it in there, and obviously you switch depending on which HDMI socket you've plugged it into. Put the DVD player in there, and Bob's your uncle. It's done. It's not really a complicated setup and setting up a Blu-ray player. So it's fairly simple. So yeah, this is the LG BP250 Blu-ray disc and DVD player. As I said before, I'm hoping I have a lot more luck with this one long term than the Panasonic one that we bought a year or 2 ago. So anyway, as I said before, it's current on Amazon. It's about £55 on it at the moment. It was 65, but they took 15% off. So I don't know how long it is gonna stay at the 55 price. So as I said, £55, and it was 65. So I would say if you're looking for a decent Blu-ray player that's probably about the cheapest I've seen for a really like a pretty big company like LG. If that's the kind of company you prefer. Anything other than that, if you want to get like the Sonys, you want to get like the really good ones, you're looking at anything from about £80 to over £100. If you want to pay over the odds for a Blu-ray player, but if you just want something simple that just does the job, then I would say you can't go wrong with this Blu-ray player, and at this price that it's currently at the moment. So I hope people enjoy this video. So again, feel free to like this video if you found this video informative, which also helps people find me on YouTube, because it's very difficult, especially when you're a small YouTuber, to be found and people to view your videos. So feel free to like, and also feel free to share. Also, that also helps as well. And if you already haven't, please feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see stuff like this or other stuff across my channel, where I do a broad range of different stuff on my channel. So one of them is bound to take your fancy if you like that kind of thing. And I'll speak to you all again soon. So take care, stay safe, and bye for now.